So I was reading something in the news today about a cover-up, and it just made me think about this whole idea of covering and how we love that phrase. I've got it covered. We want to act as if we can cover over stuff, and we loved that whole image. I'm standing here next to a fig tree in my garden. The leaves are always amazingly lush. Very rarely do any fig fruits come out on the tree, but it got me thinking about how right from the very beginning we've tried to cover ourselves. We've tried to cover things up. The reality is that in the beginning we were covered with the glory of God. We were made in the image of God. We were covered with this incredible divine favor that came from our Father who loves us. And we read in Genesis, I believe Genesis 37, it says that Jacob loved his son Joseph so much that he covered him with this coat of many colors. Ketoneth Pasim is the word in Hebrew, and scholars have argued over how this should be translated. Could it be translated as striped? Could it be translated as a robe that covers all the way down to the feet and covers the arms? Is it literally that it was many different colors? What is true, what needs to be said, is that it was a full display of his son being covered with his father's favor. The fact that his dad loved him and he wanted to say, as far as I'm concerned, my boy is royalty. That's what is going on here. And, it's fascinating, that whole story, because we have a Father who loves to cover us, who wants to cover us. He's got it covered. Whatever you're going through right now, he has got you covered. And we know that Joseph, he made some mistakes and he went out and he tried to he seemed quite arrogant about this covering. But I love the fact that even so, Joseph chose to wear his coat despite the accusations and the insults of his brothers around. He decided to be himself. He decided to be the one who his father had covered. And we need to make peace with who God's created us to be. It says in Genesis 1 verse 31 that we were created by the hand of God out of the dust of the earth, and God breathed into our nostrils the breath of life. And then God stands back from his masterpiece, from this canvas, as an incredible artist, and he says that it was very good. Very good. He uses the Hebrew word tov, and that word can be used to translate pleasant, beautiful, stunning to the senses. It's like God stood back and he looked and he said, wow, my creation is beautiful. It's fascinating because God uses that word tov when he talks about the mountains and the land and the sea and the air and the birds and the flowers and all of these things that we look at. We look on Instagram and we look at the landscape. So, and we say, wow, that's beautiful. But there's only one thing that God stands back and says, that it was very beautiful. It was very good. It was very tov. That's you and I. As you and I, he looks back and he says, wow, you are the jewel in the crown of my creation. So why do we allow ourselves to be beaten up by what everybody else says? Why do we allow ourselves to look to the next like and to the next share and think that we have to have that to make ourselves feel worthwhile? Why do we try and look like everybody else around us instead of wearing our coat of many colors with pride? God has created you and I unique. It says in Psalm 139 that we were fearfully and wonderfully made, that God saw the intricacy of who you are, every cell, every fiber, all of the nuances and all of the things that maybe you don't like about yourself. God saw it all and he looked and he was like, that is beautiful and I'm going to do something amazing with that. It's this moment in Jacob's life. Jacob wrestles with God. All of his life he's tried to pretend to be somebody else. He's worn other people's coverings because he's felt like he needs to do that to get the favor of his father. And it comes to one dark, solitary night where he is alone face to face with Yahweh and he wrestles with God through the night. And then God says to Jacob, what is your name? And Jacob says, my name's Jacob. This is who I am. Whether I like it all or not, this is who I am. And God says, okay, now I can do something with that, Jacob. Now that you're not pretending to be anybody else, I can do something with that. And God says to him, from now on, you're going to be Israel. You're going to be a prince with God. You're going to be royalty. And that same royalty placed the garment of royalty on his son. And I want to tell you today, your Father in heaven places a garment of royalty upon your shoulders, just like that child in the story of the prodigal son places his ring on your finger, says, this is my son who was lost and now he is found. So may you know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you are beautiful to your Father in heaven, and may you go out and wear your coat with pride today and change the world. God bless you.